that. Really good. I'm going to do that. Okay. I don't know how to explain it. You just know. If you've heard God, you know. And sometimes it's, I suppose you would say, a voice, as in it's a sentence or it's words. Sometimes it's just a sense of something.
What's the hardest thing God's asked you to do?
The hardest thing is marry Samuel. Go marry a perfect stranger on the other side of the world. That's a bit of a challenge, isn't it?
A completely different culture.
Yeah, from a completely different culture you've only met once before in your life. Yeah, absolutely. That's a bit of a challenge, isn't it?
Before we start, because this is going to be, I think, a big part of the film.
Oh, this is a big part of the film?
I think so.
So what is the questions and what is you going to ask me?
You'll see.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
In 2003, December, the last day in the Bible college, and one of my professor was talking to me, and he was telling everybody that even though you are students, you can still serve the Lord. I said, how can we do that? Oh, you take some street children, orphans or semi-orphans, you look after them, you give them some food, shelter, education, and raise them in the Christian values and the teachings, and they will be future Christians. And then it's really touched me so much. And I went back home. I did a 5 days full fasting, praying to God, asking Lord, I got an idea. I don't know whether this idea is my idea or your idea. Please let me know. So on the 5th day evening, while I was praying, I can hear a voice telling me, asking me a question, straight like this. Samuel, it's in English. Samuel, is it your idea? Who gave it to you? How did you get it? Who gave it to you, Samuel? I was completely silent. I couldn't be able to answer him at all. And then he said to me, go forward, never look back. Don't turn back. I will be with you. Look forward, never look back. And then I got the approval. God said, do it.
I met Samuel through the internet because he requested that I send some teaching for his pastors, and that's how we got into contact. And after a year of sending teaching, he asked me to come over and teach a conference, which I did.
Yeah. 2005, Nikki came first time to India in April. She came for a conference, and I did translation. I invited her, she came, and she did fantastic teachings.
And it was quite a shocking experience, really, because it's very rural and there's a lot of poverty, and, you know, it's nothing like where I come from. Samuel had 20 kids up in the home in Bobbely, living in this tiny little room about the size of our kitchen or smaller. And yeah, that was quite shocking. I thought, God, we have to do something. This is awful.
She said she will come back. She will come back again in 2006 February.
The second time I came, I stepped off the plane and I had this sense in my spirit, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I was a bit confused by that because I've got a church in England, my life is there. How can I be in India? And then, so about halfway through the trip, I got up early one morning because the temples start at 2:30, so there's no sleeping in. I just sat there and I said, okay, Lord, so what's this about? Why do I feel like this? And he just was plain as day. He said, I want you to marry Samuel. And I'm like, don't be ridiculous. God, you've got to be kidding. I don't even know this man. I said, well, okay, Lord, if you really want me to marry Samuel, I'll marry him. But I'm not telling anybody about this conversation. So however you're going to do it, I don't know, but I'm not speaking about it. So that was that.
In India, generally, everybody get married like arranged marriages. Like parents has to find a good family and a good girl from a good family. Then it's like a understanding and talking, and a boy and girl will talk, and they will share their feelings, and whatever they have to understand each other, they will understand. So it happens like that in India. So my parents find some good families that we know, and they said, you can go and see the girl there. So I went there with my brother-in-law. We sat there and the girl came and the parents came, and I saw her. And God told me straight away, I can hear the voice, He told me, this is not my will, get out from here. So I went to next, so my father sent another family. So 2-3 families and 2-3 girls I have seen, to go and see them and talk to them. God said to me, this is not my will, get out from here. So I came back. It's almost like December. I can't find anybody. I can't find any girl and no family. I came to my bedroom, kneel down, prayed to God. I said to God, Lord, what's the problem? I don't understand anything. I prayed. I said, from today onwards, I'm not thinking, I'm not searching, I'm not worried about that. I completely leaving everything to you. You decide, you show me, and then I will do it. So until then, I'm not doing anything. Shut down.
What was your first impression of Samuel before you?
The first impression, I don't know really. He's just a pastor, he's trying to serve God, he's, clearly intent on doing ministry. He was probably more focused on, I've got to preach all these times, probably more focused on that than what he was like.
Nikki came in 2006, February she came. She was sleeping in the bedroom. I was in the lounge on the sofa. I am about to sleep and I was praying, I'm praying and I can hear somebody telling me like, oh, why don't you marry Nikki? Why don't you marry Nikki? So I said, oh my God, I'm getting bad thoughts. It's a bad thought. You can't think like that. Somebody who came from England to preach in the conference and you think like that is a bad idea. I don't want this, Lord. You deliver me from these thoughts. I don't want it. So please, devil is tempting me. Devil is giving me bad thoughts. So I don't want this. Deliver me from this. I keep on praying every day. Every day the voice is coming, but I can't listen it. I don't want it. I'm asking Lord to help me, to deliver me from such thoughts. But it's keep on becoming stronger and stronger again. So one day Nikki and I, we both are coming in the car.
Sort of the last day of ministry, we were coming back in the car and he was all...
I'm telling you practically, I can't drive the car at all. I can't practically drive at all. I can't put my feet on the pedals, And then some voice came into me, very, very strong, shouting, Samuel, tell her. She knew.
And I'm like, what's the matter with you? He says, oh, I'm ever so worried that, there's something I need to say. And if I say it, I'll spoil our working relationship. And so I thought, oh dear, I have a sneaky suspicion I know what's going on here. So I said, well, look, just tell me and then we'll worry afterwards about what happens. He says,
oh, I'm going to tell you something. You must not be upset with that. Okay, she said, what is that? What is that? You are moving. What happened? You seems like some sort of tense. What happened? Oh, somebody is telling me, something is going on inside me, telling me that I should marry you. And she turned to me and she told me, you know what he said? She said, I knew already. And I was completely shocked. You knew already? So what's going on here then?
There I am somewhere on a road in the middle of rural India with this guy I've only met once before, agreeing to marry him and thinking, how am I ever going to tell anybody at home what happened? They'll think I've gone insane, won't they?
And I thought, oh my God, God has something planned. You know what I felt that time? Somebody is in charge of my life. I'm not taking any decisions for my life. It's not my choice. Somebody is in charge and he's taking some decisions on behalf of my life.
Anyway, I went home and there was a very elderly lady in the congregation who's a good friend of mine and very sensible. I thought, I'll go and tell her. She'll tell me I'm crazy. And I went to see her, explain the situation. She says, oh, it's really strange you should say that because I was praying for you last week and God told me you would marry Samuel.
You see, our marriage is not a love marriage, it's not an arranged marriage. It is arranged marriage by God. God told me to marry her and God told her to marry me. So it's like God's arranged for us, both of us. So we married for almost 18 years and we're doing good. We're doing together. Without Nikki, I can't do this. And she's my great help. She's my blessing. And she really supports me. She's a good teacher. And we both together serve the Lord here, you know.
This place in itself is a miracle because Samuel and I started with nothing. He didn't marry a rich European. I came with nothing. I know nobody here believes that, but it's the truth. I came with nothing. He came with nothing. In fact, we started the ministry with a printer. That's all we had was a printer and a beat-up 10-year-old Land Rover.
I think UNICEF was the one to release the article that said that there was 30 million orphans in India, and that means having lost either one or both parents. My name's Felicity Jones, and I'm sitting here at Hope Campus, which is where I came back in 2010 for the first time.
Felicity came in 2010 with a friend called Elizabeth from England. They came for 10 days. And she came, she was very young at the time.
Growing up, I always wanted to help kids in need and have some kind of association with an orphanage or start my own. I didn't really know how it was going to play out, but I had a desire in my heart from a very young age to help kids. But I'd never experienced poverty like I had experienced in India. So I was very overwhelmed by the whole thing. Kids playing in sewers and out in the villages with no clothes on and just very, very dirty. Fast forward, I went home. I was 20 years old at the time, and I actually remember thinking while I was here, I never want to forget what I've seen. I don't want to go back to my very comfortable lifestyle and just forget about my experience and what I had seen here.
But for 5 years, I didn't hear anything from her.
I didn't do much. I kind of sort of like was waiting on God to tell me what to do, but I honestly wondered if he would ever tell me.
So in 2013 onwards, God was telling me that I need to establish a second children home in a different area. And I said to God, Lord, I'm unable to run the first one. I don't have enough funds to run the first one. I'm struggling here. I could not able to feed these people and feed the children in the first children home. And you're asking me to the second one. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I can't do it. It's too much pressure. But he's keep on telling me, no, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. So it's like a burning inside me. It's a burning. It's like a fire. It's burning all the time.
I was living and working in Philadelphia and was in my church. And it was before the services started. It was like during the worship, we were singing some songs. I just had this vision.
I really need your help.
And it was of me sitting at a table with Pastor Samuel, who I hadn't spoken to for 5 years. Since I'd been here, I hadn't had any communication with him. And in this vision, he told me, I really need your help. And that's all that was said. And I remember thinking in church, like, this is my time. Like, this is now God's calling me to India. And I had like this yearning in my heart for India. And I went back home. Everything was, normal. And Samuel actually called me. I hadn't spoken to him for 5 years, I told you that. He called me and said, hey, I'm in England. Will you come to my house, meet my wife, meet my kids?
I thought she was in England. I don't know that she moved to America. So I was in England, and I sent a message to her that, oh, I'm in England, can we meet, can we catch up? So she said, oh, I'm in England too, and I will come back and see you. So she came straight from London to Norwich.
So I went immediately, I was actually in England for a wedding. I went immediately from the wedding to his house where he was staying. And when he was sitting there talking, we were just catching up over his life, my life. And he told me that he had this like yearning and this burden in his heart to do more. And I knew it was me that was supposed to help him.
So I shared what God told me that I need to do the second one. And she's practically crying. And I thought, I didn't upset her anything, I didn't see anything wrong here.
And I didn't really say much to him at the time. And then when I went home, I wrote him this huge, long message about how
I am the person you are looking for. I am the person who's supposed to help you to establish the second one. And God gave me a vision. In that vision, I saw you. We both are sitting at the dining table and we are discussing about it. And God is telling you to do the second one. I am the person to help you, and I'm going to help you to do that.
we opened it in November 2017, and this is the girls' home. So we have various different bedrooms. It's all very neat and tidy. Girls' room? This is the girls' room. So we actually try to split them up into separate rooms, and as you see, all the beds are together, and they missed each other too much, so they went and slept back in the same room. It's actually really cute. Who plays the drums? You?
No, ma'am.
Who plays? Who's the best? Joshua? Are you the best at the drums? Come on, show us. Let's drop the beat. A lot of the orphanages here are overpopulated and underfunded, so the level of care that they're getting is not brilliant. And so when I started Little Loves, I really wanted to have a higher quality of care, basically like quality over quantity. I didn't want to take 60, 100 children and then not be able to provide them with everything they needed. I would rather help a few and just give them the best, because education at the end of the day is what breaks the cycle of poverty. And I thought we took 11 kids to start with. If we could take these 11 kids and just give them everything, put them in the best private school, give them the best house parents, the best food, and just basically raise them up to be the best that they can be, rather than taking huge amounts and not being able to provide for them. We are going to Saroja's house. She's one of our first kids that we took. And she has a great story, and we just wanted to show you where she lived and the difference between what the kids came from versus what they have now. So this is it.
And that's the field for Saroja and her mother may sleep on the bed, and her sister and some other people will sleep on this floor, on the floor. They use for the cooking.
Yeah.
They just stored out on this shelf.
Sometimes, people doesn't have food. See, you see here, this is the rice. Okay, this is the rice.
Yeah.
And there's a rice water, like a soup. They drink that. Yeah. So you can see here. Yeah.
This is my kitchen room.
Because of the poverty, people want instant help. Like education gives you a long-term help, not instant help. So if you work somewhere in the rice field or in a shop or go somewhere else, then you can get an instant money, daily wages or monthly wages, then they can support the family because of the poverty here. So most of the parents, if it costs to them, they can't afford education. So giving education to them is a future benefit, future help, it's a future blessing.
We've had kids who bless them, have gone home from here and started telling their parents how they should be doing things. Like you should have a bathroom rather than using the road. You should pray over your food because God has blessed us with it. And so it's little, and some kids' parents have become Christians as a result of the kids' influence. So when you see that, when you see kids develop just some basic skills to make life better, you know that you're doing something positive for the future.
This is Vasu, this is Sereth. When they first came to us, they were two of the original 11 kids. When they came, they were so tiny. You've grown so tall now. They were brought here by their grandma, but she wasn't able to look after them because she was so poor. And but the reason they were with her was because their mum got struck by lightning in a thunderstorm, and their dad actually ran off with another woman, and so completely abandoned them. And so the grandma was all they had, but she couldn't afford to take care of them. So even in the summertime, when the kids have the option to go visit a relative, they actually want to stay on campus because they know when they go back to her house that they don't get fed there. So.
This children home, school, everything is an expression of God's love towards the children, towards the families, those who can't afford to look after the children, giving them some hope and some future. This is what it's all about. This is an example of God's love. And I am surrounded by so many villages that never heard about Jesus Christ. I want to go there. I want to preach the gospel to them. And I want to establish the churches where people can come to Jesus. We are cooking egg biryani today to feed the leper people. We are going to the town called Vijayanagaram. And it was a leper colony. And we wanted to go and bless them with the food. And we also shared some gospel with them.
We are surrounded by over 200 villages that have never heard the name of Jesus Christ. Not where there's no Christians, not where there isn't a church, but places that have never heard about Jesus Christ. And the door is open, but my greatest concern is that it's not open for very long. And to reach that is what I would like us to do. That is the thing I want to say. Pray for us, because 200 villages have never heard the name of Jesus Christ.
I was scared when I was early period of ministry. I was so scared all the time. I don't know how to feed these children. I don't know how to pay the salaries. I don't know how to run this. I don't have any support. Every time it's big pressure and I was always scared. And then God said to me, leave those things to me and do my things. Like go out, preach the gospel. You do my work, I will do your work. So these 17 years, 18 years of ministry, I've seen so many pain. So many times I'm scared, worried, tensed, don't know what to do. But now I can say that I'm not scared. I'm very confident because I have experienced His provision, I experienced His love, I experienced His care, I experienced His miracles. So after experiencing all these things, why I should scared and worried today? I trust Him. He never put me down. He never put me down. So then today if I scared, it means I don't have faith. I don't believe in Him. After all, He proved all the time. This is the proof of His provision. This is the proof of His abundance. I started with nothing. I'm zero. I'm nothing. I started with nothing. And today, you see, almost practically 200 families are depending upon me now. I'm feeding every day 100 people. Every day, 3 meals. Looking after 22 pastors, supporting them, looking after them. I'm the single person with nothing I came. As I told you, when I started the children home, I don't have anything. It's all Lord's provision, God provided. You know, if I scared today, there's no meaning of my 70 years of Christian life. No, I'm not scared today. I was scared before.
This is also like a home. This is also like a family. Yeah.
Everyone here is like my brother, my sister, or my friends. They're very close to me.
This place has changed my future, changed my life.
You know, God has a plan, and it's always for the benefit of everybody. When we think of a plan with God, we tend to think of ourselves, you know, my life, what's going to happen to me. But, you know, God's plan is for everybody. So what I do is part of what God is doing. So we have to be careful not to be so self-absorbed that we're only thinking of ourselves.
My advice I would give to somebody who's scared to say yes to God, or if they're trying to find what it is that He wants them to do, just try different things. Because I don't always think that God gives a yes, but He always gives a no. And so if He doesn't want you to do it, He'll let you know. You basically serve into your purpose. So you find various things you might want to do, and then serve in those areas. And maybe God will tell you no. You try the next thing, and then you'll definitely find it. But don't stay there waiting for too long, because life's too short.